Dave Scott Hub Media. It's our July show with Lill from Canadian Mental Health, team lead for the health promotions. Every month, Lill and I get together and we talk about mental health situations that we see or what events we got coming. But this month, I want to take a look at because, hello, Lill. Sorry, I'm just rambling already. I want to take a look at the causes because I don't think we sometimes understand how big the little things can be in our lives, if that
Mhm.
makes sense to you.
Yes, it does.
And I'll give you a quick example, and you can sort of share with me your thoughts. Is I read recently an article on mental health, and one of the things that I read about was lately people are anxiety is building depression because the food source they just don't know if they can afford food or if they're going to have food. And I thought,
Mhm.
wow, like when you start looking at it in that perspective, there's always going to be something, isn't there?
Absolutely. Food insecurity is very real, and the prices have gone up so high in grocery stores since the pandemic because I guess they're trying to recoup their losses. And people who were struggling before are struggling even more now. I mean, it's really sad that in a country like ours, where there's many opportunities, people have to worry about food insecurity. It's really a darn shame.
And I mean, you take it in just in this past week with the smoke in the area,
Hmm.
like it raises anxiety and it puts
Sure
that,
does. Yes.
that can lead to other things. But I'm always amazed at what you and I, our perception. Okay, you and I are talking, but I don't really know you to know what's going on in your life. But I'm always amazed at how little we understand the other person so that we can
Mhm.
help them, right? Unless you say, hey, Dave, or I say, hey, Lil, help me with this. We don't really know, but we
Yeah,
got to be cognizant of that, don't we? Every little thing can have a ripple effect in a life.
definitely. And you mentioned the wildfires and all the smoke in the air, and it's coming our way. There's also a term called eco anxiety, right? And it's very real. It's people are afraid of climate change, and the things that are going on as a result of possible climate change. Hotter summers, more storms, etc., and things that are going on. So eco anxiety, it's a relatively new term, but it's very real, and people do worry about, like you said, the little things in life. Not necessarily to demean that this is a little thing in a person's life to have eco anxiety, but I mean things in the mundane day-to-day things that we don't think about really have an impact on people.
I've heard of that term once before, but I
Yes.
never looked into it. That's really
Yes.
interesting. So that could be anything basically that's evolving in the ecosystem that can sort of throw you off kilter a little bit, correct?
Exactly.
And do you guys, I mean, is there folks must come to you, you've heard of it. So you guys are dealing with this on a regular basis, I would take it, or occasional basis. But is
Yes.
that a totally different, like I'm like, how would you deal with that? Right.
Right. Well, anxiety in general has certainly ramped up in individuals since the pandemic. We're still reeling from it. We call mental health issues the secondary pandemic, right? So anxiety is higher, uncertainty, hopelessness, mental health issues of many genres are coming to the forefront. So, with anxiety, any type of anxiety, we really deal with it, having people talk about what they're going through, helping them with their thoughts, putting things into perspective, and really doing desensitization, right? And that's how you move forward with anxiety.
A quick question on that because now twofold here. So when I always, if I find myself in a situation where maybe I'm starting to feel a bit anxious, I
Mhm.
usually try and step back out of that situation
Yes.
to get a bigger perspective on what I'm worried about.
Right,
I've seen folks go the other way. So let's say they step into a situation
right,
and they go full bore
right.
and they let that overtake them. Is that a form of
Yes.
anxiety?
Yes, that is a form of generalized anxiety disorder. I mean, we're all anxious in certain situations. We're only human. However, many of us have the coping skills to kind of say, well, this situation is making me anxious. I need a distraction. I need to go for a walk, or I need to listen to music, or remove myself from the situation. But with generalized anxiety disorder, without the proper assistance, right, the person can really get caught up in that anxiety and make it worse, right? Because their thoughts continue, and they race and race until, it really is so blown out of proportion that it's creating more and more anxiety. It's like a vicious circle, right?
So when they're like, and I'm going to use the political realm for an example. Like if you're so narrowly focused on one issue, like you become almost obsessed with
Of
it.
course, yes.
Are you, is that your way of trying to cope with anxiety, or is the anxiety feeding that even worse?
Well, it
Like it
is a vicious
depends.
circle. You become anxious, then you worry about the anxiety, and then the anxiety gets even worse because you're worrying about the anxiety, and so on and so forth. We call that the vicious circle. It's no, unfortunately, when you are caught up in that vicious circle, there really is really no way out until you get that help or have someone to talk to and say, let's look at the way you're thinking about things. Let's challenge your thoughts. Let's notice your thoughts, and let's try to bring things into perspective.
With the social media connection, do you think, it's kind of a crazy question, but do you think that the anxiety that social media creates is
Hmm.
causing part of the havoc that we see today with mental health?
Yes. Now, social media is a great way to get the message across for businesses such as ours, but it's also, it can be an unsafe place for individuals that are struggling with mental illness. You're hiding behind your keyboard. You can say whatever you want. You can also be bullied. And, it is not a very good place for individuals living with mental illness or anxiety. The things that go on in social media, because everyone's hiding behind their screen and they can say whatever they want. And it's not a safe place for people that are struggling with anxiety or mental health problems.
It really does that really boil down to self-esteem issues too?
For sure, for sure. Self-esteem, like our self-esteem is battered when we're struggling with mental illness. It really is, right? You're feeling like you're different from everyone, that you're the only one that's experiencing these thoughts and feelings and all that. So your self-esteem takes a beating right away because you perceive yourself as being different. So, yes, that's the first thing to go, right? Why can't I be like other people? Why do I feel this way? Why do I act this way, right? Mhm.
I think to me, it's always been. I always thought the other way. I thought if you, I think I have better self-esteem because I'm more diverse than other. Like I
Mhm.
shouldn't say better. I think it's just I've created a different world because I can be that.
Mhm.
I can talk to you, and then I'll go talk to Bob that runs, the boat shop. But I mean, you got to have that diversity within your personality to be
For
able
sure.
to have
And that
self-esteem.
absolutely. And that support as well, right? If you're having these thoughts or feelings and then you have someone to talk to who kind of, pumps you up and gives your self-esteem a boost, it's very helpful. But if you're feeling really low and, unworthy or worthless, um, and there's no one to talk to about it, you're going to continue feeling that way because there's no outlet. So you internalize it.
Wow, I mean, such a unique conversation to have. I do want to go into the eco one down the road. Let's do another show on that. But it's time to walk the dogs, as you can
I
hear.
know, he's growling.
So I'm going to let you go and have a great day. Thanks, Lil.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye bye.